for Russell Endy, those two. But then you know, Arnold Tinnett, I mean, he's very, very quick. He's shown himself in a previous race. I think he came out of the second or third. So he's definitely got the pace. And as you say, Ben Bennyworth, it could be interesting.
Gaban as well. Duma.
Rob Duma,
we can't forget him. You know, he's admittedly his biggest amount of competition has been speedway riding, but he's certainly not behind the game in terms of being a four-wheel competitor too. So it looks like we've got Adam Davis, one of the stars of the heat race we've just seen. Adam, first of all, congratulations! What a great performance there, mate.
It was fantastic, thank you. Yeah, great performance by Sam as well. He was just, his defending was spot on every single lap. He was giving me nowhere to overtake. It seemed to be the last bit of the snail section. He was struggling for traction, so he always had the run on the straight, but he was always blocking. There was just no way past. But yeah, great race.
We were wondering if you might have had some other place and you were setting him up, but as it happened, no, you were just trying your best all the way around.
No,
right?
There was a few places I was eyeing up a pass, but you know, nowhere I could have made a good move, you know.
Nowhere obvious.
No, exactly.
And of course, a bad pass, it would have dropped you out of the third place, but you got a whole ton of points, of course, for that one.
Well, that's it. I thought I was so happy with third. I didn't know exactly where I was. I knew I was in a good place. I thought, do I risk a bad pass and getting black flag? No, I'll just settle for what I get, which was.
Now, basically, James, you were saying, does he risk a Steve Gray move? Or was it just a proper move?
Exactly.
He obviously decided not to risk a Steve Gray move. But, Adam, obviously that was what we saw from the race. You're obviously really happy about it. We saw a great show. But the first part of the race, absolute nightmare, it seemed. You had to switch cars. You came in the pits for waving about something. What was all that about?
Well, the cart I was due to get for the heats, they were fiddling with the throttle. It kept cutting out. So when I got in it to go for the qualifying, stopped in front of the next car, it cut out, so I'm not happy with that, because I thought for the pit stops, what if it cuts out then? So I was put into a cold cart. It felt okay, and then when I had a bit of a nightmare coming in for the pit stop, at the first line it seemed to half cut out, and I panicked, and it was okay, but I did lose a bit of time there. So
yeah, I saw you waving there, Adam. That's what I actually assumed had happened, as though you thought it had cut out, but you'd just got on the gas. There was enough momentum inside the engine to just keep things going. And as it happened, you came steaming on through. A great result there. Now, you set the fastest race lap. Do you feel that had, say, Sam been either faster or you got past him, could you have caught Tom Van Dijk for the win? Could it have been possible?
Yes, because we were catching. I could see in the distance we were catching Tom. There's no doubt without Sam in the way, I would have made progress and maybe on for the win, but you know, Sam drove his race, a great race, and you know, he's entitled to defend, and he did. So yeah, I can't be unhappy with it.
Great stuff, Adam. We're getting the first qualifying results in now from the next race. It's Andy Gaban on the provisional pole with a 34-second lap time from Rob Duma. Russell Endine is third, Kim Ensign is fourth, Melanie Howell is fifth, Pete Lepan sixth, Ander Hunt has come through in seventh, Andrew Duff eighth, Ben Bennyworth ninth. And Arnaud Tinet is rounding them out there in 10th, but Andy Gaban on the pole, Rob Duma second. A little surprised at not seeing Endine and or Kim Ensign right up at the front.
Well, that's our predictions right out the window, isn't it? At the start, near enough. Third and fourth, but great effort from Duma. Also, big shout out there, Melanie Howell, fifth position. That's fantastic performance. Yeah, she was 10th in her first race, so to qualify fifth, she's done brilliantly there.
Interestingly, from the two girls, we've probably got Melanie Howell, who'll be pleased with that one, and Hunt, who'll probably be displeased with seventh. You know, if anything, you'd expect them to be the other way round. But obviously Melanie Howell, we can see what she can do in this one, but she's got some pretty fierce competitors in front of her, and one behind, Pete Lepan, he's in sixth place, Ander Hunt seventh, Andrew Duff eighth, as I say, Ben Bennyworth, a little bit of a surprise to see him in ninth, 0.8 behind, Arnaud Tinet 10th, see if he can pull it forward. But we got the race start coming up now. It's Andy Gaban who is leading them around from the Polish driver Duma. See if we can get a clean start on this one. It's looking good. I think Gaban will provide a pretty clean start. He gets a bit of a punt going off there from Duma, saying get on with it, and he does, and we got a great start. That's about the cleanest we've seen the whole BRKC so far.
Yeah, brilliant start that. Everyone was very close together, and it's still very close as they come around the top section. Great start, as you say, Rob Duma just giving a little bit of a love tap there to the race leader, but the rest of them all coming through now. The top four just started to possibly eke away from Melanie Howell, but she's still holding her own there in fifth position.
Absolutely. I think if I was Rob Duma with Russell Endine and Kim Ensign starting that close behind me, I'd want Gaban to get a move on as well. In fact, Duma running wide, and there's a bit of bumping and boring behind because of Rob Duma's sort of slow run through the hairpin. That I think he just ran a little wide, and he had to roll off the gas, and they all sort of start nudging each other behind. That has given a little bit of a gap to Andy Gaban, who cracks that first lap off at 34 seconds. I think, Steve, that's the first opening lap we've seen at 34.
And it's incredible, isn't it? Just that little bit. He must have seen behind him. You say Duma just getting that little bit of a sideways going through the hairpin, and it's that little bit of confidence that's giving him the pressure to go and do that 34.8. Great start.
Absolutely. Duma's got his head back together, though, and he's trying to close back down. We've got a bit of a gap developing in the gap to 5th place. That is between Kim Ensign and Melanie Howell. Melanie Howell has got about a gap then of about a cart to Le Pen and Ander Hont, and after that it's Andrew Duff. Arnaud Tinet's come up from last. Ben Bennyworth has moved, or has ended up into 10th place now. Has Bennyworth come in the pits unseen by us?
Not that I've seen.
No, I didn't think so. It'd be a bit early if he did. Maybe he's just lost the place on merit. Okay, so running a bit wide there, Gaban, and if you look, Rob Duma, he's got about a car length ahead now, so he's pulling forward. There's an increasing gap, though, there between Kim Ensign and Melanie Howell. And someone's pitted out from behind the Howell group. Who we got there? It's the number 9. Oh, no! Strategic error by Arnaud Tinet. We've got the number 9 car, which is Ander Hont. Tinet's coming right behind it. He's having to wait each time. This has almost doubled his pit stop length.
Yeah, what a shame for Arnaud. He's annoyed with himself. He's gesticulating as he went through there. He must have at the last minute just not seen... who was it? It was
Ander Hont.
Ander Hont.
Yeah.
So he must have not seen her coming. I don't know how you can't see it, to be honest. With that wavy hair, you can see her. She goes past at the back. I raced against Anne in my first race, and she was a very, very quick driver.
Absolutely. Ander Hont, one of those international drivers who travels around. Andrew Duff is making an early stop as well. Well, this could be interesting because Andrew Duff, he does put himself in some interesting places in the races. He goes up and down the order and somehow finishes separate to where he started. Sometimes exactly where he started, despite going one end to the other. So we'll see what happens there. Ander Hont, of course, I think she was seeing that Melanie Howell was trying to back people up a little bit. Figured that she was faster, so she pitted. Arnaud Tinet just got completely caught out by surprise there. Just at the crucial moment didn't pay enough attention to her, thinking about his own strategy, and a cart came in front of him, couldn't do anything about it. He was already committed.
To be honest, it's always quite difficult when you're coming around that final corner, because especially if there's a train of carts, you're watching them go round, you might not see that one of them has come in the pits because they're all together. So Arnaud's probably come round. Ander Hont was at the front of that group, thought she's come through when she's really gone in the pits, and then followed her in at the last minute and thought, oh no, that's it, I've ruined it.
I think you're right there, Steve. Basically, he was looking at the helmet in front of him, but it was the helmet ahead of that pitted. And meantime, on screen, though, we can see now that Andy Gaban is doing a pretty convincing job of this lead. He's down to 34.6. We got 34.7, though, by Rob Duma. 34.6 now, and the two of them are right up there. 34.6 again from Russell Endine. So the top three are very, very close, within a couple of hundredths on lap time. So, and in the pits then, that is Melanie Howell. I'm not sure she's gained anything by pitting so early, except to end up side by side with Andrew Duff, who manages to go around the outside of her. Melanie, I think she could have stayed out on that one, to be fair.
She could have, I think, yeah, maybe a bit of a mistake to come into the pits there, because she was holding her own for a while. A lot of people hadn't got past her, but she's certainly lost position now to Ander Hont, and is that Ben Bennyworth who's just got in front of her as well?
I think she lost one to Andrew Duff as well, because we're listing Melanie 8th, Andrew 9th. Andrew then passed her after. In fact, on screen there's Andrew Duff with Melanie Howell behind. So Andrew Duff has gone to 8th, Melanie to 9th, and then Arnaud Tinet behind Melanie Howell. So a bit unfortunate there for Melanie, but we'll see how it all shakes out. There are other people still left to pit. It's not over yet. Meantime, we've got Andy Gaban, who's gone down to 34.5. Matching him, though, is Rob Duma. So Andy Gaban is trying to pull the pin, but Duma's definitely coming with him. Russell Endine is responding with a 34.6. Well, 34.3 now for Andy Gaban, the last lap. He's trying desperately to pull away, but the two behind are and they're pretty much matching for pace, to be fair, aren't they?
Yeah, they are right behind him, not letting him have a breather at all, and very, very close between them. Rob Duma doing well, like I say. Rob, he's one of those, isn't he? One race he could be right at the front, the next minute he could be right at the back. I remember especially last year, I think looking at his results, he did something like he won the first race and then he had a 6th and a 7th and a bit all over the place. But when he gets his head down, obviously another one, his head's in the game, then he's certainly one to be reckoned with.
I think what we've got with Rob Duma is somebody who is quite consistent in what he's doing. but it depends a lot on who's around him. So if he's got a whole bunch, if he's in like a very serious heat, then he's going to be in a world of trouble. If he's in a position where he might well do something, suddenly we see him up near the front. So as you say, but again, it may well come down to thinking it through. Strategy-wise, he hasn't made a pit stop yet. We'll see what he does. Andy Gaban is leading this. Rob Duma, I think, would wise say. Rob Duma's actually just set the fastest lap of the race.
Like I say, he's got his head in the game this time, hasn't he? 34.3. That's a great lap time by anybody's standards. But Andy Gaban, 34.34. So it is only thousands of tenths between them. It's very, very close, and the gap only a second on the track as well.
Slightly dropping away there is Russell Ending, just by 0.3 of a second. Which, as Steve just said, is a surprise. Really, I'd expected Russell to be trying to get right on the case of these. He's obviously trying his considerable best, but at the moment it's Gaban and Duma pulling away, and Duma setting the fastest race lap so far.
Well, obviously all the karts are that little bit of a different, aren't they? And some will adapt to other driver styles very quickly, while some might not be to their preferred taste. And you've got to adapt as a racing driver to every kart you go in. And maybe Russell's just struggling that little bit with this one. You've got Kim Henson as well. He's another surprise down in 4th position. Those two drivers I thought would be having a little battle between themselves, but it's still about a second and a half between them. So this race becoming slightly spaced out. You've got Andy Gaban at the front, a second clear of Rob Duma in terms, 2 seconds clear of Endine, and 2 seconds in front of Henson.
Well, we've got a bit of a battle looming at the tail of the field there that the producer's focusing on at the moment. We've got Melanie Howell, the Welsh lady racer, versus Arnaud Tinet from France. And Howell and Tinet are battling it out. There we are. There's Melanie Howell in the kind of two-tone blue, dark blue and light blue, with the black helmet, and Tinet is following in a sort of multicoloured helmet and kind of very dark blue, white and red suit. There they are. There's Melanie Howell coming through now, followed by Arnaud Tinet. They're battling over 9th and 10th place. Andy Gaban has set the new fastest lap of the race. He is really trying to disappear in this. Trouble is, he's got Rob Duma coming with him. Russell Endine and Kim Henson, you would have to say, would be the key strategic brains in the middle of all of this. But they just don't have the pace right now. No,
they're just like you say, just ever so slightly dropping off, aren't they? And as you say, Andy Gaban's just come through. He set the fastest lap of his race so far, a very quick lap, 34.123, and that's put the gap to 2 seconds now ahead of Rob Duma. So maybe Rob just getting slightly disconcerted by this and seeing Andy Gaban pulling away. But it's still only 2 seconds, anything can happen.
Absolutely, and the interesting thing is that difference in times. Russell Endine and Kim Henson, you'd have to say, would be the better strategic minds from what we know at the moment. But that doesn't matter a lot if you're losing time every lap.
No, it doesn't, not a battle at all. I just want to go back to this battle between Melanie Howell and Arnaud Tinet. It's such a fantastic scrap, and even though they're battling over 9th place, you can see that they're battling though as if it was for first. It's great to see. Well,
everybody's a good driver in this. Tinet got a bit of a better run coming off there. He's having a look at Melanie Howell. He can't make it stick. Melanie Howell, I think her areas of the circuit where she's better than Tinet are on various corners. Tinet has a run, but can he make it around the outside? Will Melanie Howell get it back? I think she is, but Tinet's got the inside. Now Arnaud Tinet moves ahead, and he takes 9th place from Melanie Howell. Now, Melanie Howell, down the backstretch, has been much to the inside, so she may give it a lunge by dint of that being her natural line. We'll see what happens there. We're looking now, there's Kim Henson coming down in the 12 kart, and then of course Lepan and Bennyworth. Ben Bennyworth has moved up to 6th place in the middle of all this going on. But I think, are the leaders starting to catch? I think that's Andy Gaban, who's on the back of Melanie Howell now, and Arnaud Tinet. Now Arnaud Tinet and Melanie Howell, 9th and 10th, they're being caught by the leaders. We'll see what happens. The question really is Gaban, who is the fastest on the track right now, is he going to pit himself away from these two, or is he going to try to fight his way through? They're coming round towards that turn. Here's Andy Gaban on camera now. Will he go in the pits? No, he doesn't. He's going to try and pass these two back markers. They're going to be getting the blue flag soon, but will it be enough for Gaban to keep his advantage over Rob Duma? Because Rob Duma will see this. Gaban's trying to wave to the marshals to say, listen, I could do with a blue flag, please. Melanie Howell's not giving way. She's been forced to give way to Gaban there. So that's a back marker between Gaban and 2nd place, Rob Duma. But Gaban has got to get past Arnaud Tinet. There he is going through the first turn. There's Tinet leading the way there, but that's the race leader, number 11, Andy Gaban. Will he pit? No. What about Rob Duma? No, he's not pitting either. There they are. That you can see the blend line just in the bottom of the screen, just gone away from that now. That would have been, we'd know then they were coming in the pits, and the 2 leaders are staying out.
They are, and like you say, Andy Gabani's got that small advantage over Rob Duma, so I think the reason he didn't come into the pits is he knows he's got that little bit of a buffer. So even if there was a problem where he was struggling to get past Melanie or Arnold, who are indeed involved in their own battle, it wouldn't affect him that much.
And a big old French arm has come out the side of that cart there from Arnaud Tinet in the 18 to wave Andy Gaban through. So Andy Gaban has now got ahead of Arnaud Tinet. Duma's got work to do now.
Duma's come in.
He's come in, has he?
Yeah,
oh, yes, of course.
Yeah,
there he is, Rob Duma. Now, this is the second place cart. Will it be good? Will it be good? Yes, it is. Gosh, it looked close, though. I thought he was going to jump that green.
Excellent pit stop. That was really got that nailed. It was right. He moved his minute that light turned to green, he was away, and that's. But if he still is, Rob Duma, he's just come out in front of number 17, Pete Lepan. So Pete having a good race. Remember, Pete was sitting in 6th position, so he's done well. He's now moved right onto the back of Duma, and you remember how close Duma was to Andy Gaban, so that could put all that 3 together. Should Andy Gaban have a slightly slower stop?
Now the baton passes over to Russell Endine and Kim Ensign. What's their response to Duma's pit stop going to be? Are they going to come in? It doesn't look like it at the moment. We'll see what happens, but. Obviously, Russell Endine, Kim Ensign, they're going to be catching the Melanie Hell Arnaud Tinet battle. And the question is, will they pit out of that, or will they just keep on trucking?
It depends if they've got the same gap that Andy Gaban had, which they probably don't. So I would say once they get to the back of Melanie, in my eyes, they should probably come in, get the pit stop done, and then get themselves back into clean air.
Okay, Gaban. Now, there's Andrew Duff, and Gaban is catching up with Andrew Duff now. And Andy Gaban is going to find that Andrew Duff's going a little bit quicker than Howell and Tinet, and he may need a bit more help from the blue flags for this one. We'll see what happens. They're going to be entering the back straight. Now, in the background, they're in the light-coloured suit, the black helmet. That is Andrew Duff. You can see just going around that tight hairpin there. And there is the race leader, Andy Gaban. We're still waiting to see if Endine or Ensign pit, and it's going to come any time very soon if they're going to do it.
Yeah, very true. Like you say, it's going to be all about the pit stops, this one, and can Russell Endine do anything to get onto the back of Andy Gaban? The gap is so extortionate, but it's whether they've got the blue flag coming out there. That was number... Who was that down the back of the second?
That'll probably be for Andrew Duff.
Yes,
because Andy Gaban has now moved ahead. Andrew Duff went wide in the hairpin. We just saw in the camera there. Duff did move out of the way. Gaban is through. Now on the back stretch. Here's Gaban in the lead there in the 11, and there's Andrew Duff who waved him through. Arnaud Tinet there is actually not far away from Andrew Duff at all.
Yeah, that's going to be a little battle. But they've both made the pit stops as well, so 8th and 9th position. As we say, every point counts in this event, so he needs to try and get onto the back of Andrew Duff.
Okay then, so we've still got Russell Endine and Kim Ensign out there. We're waiting for a pit stop from them. They're probably going to leave it late now. They're on about 6.5 minutes to go, and we'll see what sort of time they're going to be coming in. But down the back stretch here, we are looking at the 9, which of course is Anne de Hont. Anne de Hont, one of the top lady racers in the world, and genuinely one of the quickest drivers in the world at the moment of indoor kart racing. She's down in 6th place. I get the feeling she wasn't happy with that 7th qualifying and is going to look to aim to move up from that. She's made a pit stop. We'll see how she is difference in time from Russell Endine and Kim Ensign.
Yeah, will it be true if she's been able to get some laps together and close up onto the back of them by the time they make their pit stops? But again, when are they going to make the stop? I mean, they're leaving it late as it is, 6 minutes left to go. So are they going to be last lap goes or what? We don't know. Oh, someone in, that's number 17. That is Pete Lepan.
17 is Lepan. Now, that could be to Anne de Hont's advantage.
And he's just come out in front, James.
Come out
just
in front, but Anne de Hont does have the speed advantage and momentum, and she's got Ben Bennyworth coming with her. Will they be closing on Lepan? I think Lepan's done enough in that to get out in the lead, or in the lead of that group, shall I say. He's not in the lead of the race because, of course, that is Andy Gaban. Russell Endine and Kim Ensign, still no pit stop.
Yep, still no pit stop. When's it going to happen? We're going to have to just keep watching, aren't we, and see what they decide to do. But obviously, you say, James, the strategic minds, they'll be playing it inside their head. They'll know exactly what they're doing.
Absolutely. Right then, so as we're looking at the track there, they're down the back stretch. This is around the first turn here. The final turn leading towards the start line. There's Andrew Duff crisscrossing the line there, and that is Arnaud Tinet running with him, and I think Tinet is closing in on him. He is fractionally quicker on lap times by a couple of tenths a second. Tine could yet pass, or at least catch, Andrew Duff. He's got just under 5 minutes to do it if he's going to do that, and it's going to be for 8th place.
It is, but Andy Gaban, look at that fastest lap. That's the quickest we've had round this lap, isn't it, James? 34.109. It's a very, very quick lap. We've only just noticed that.
It is very fast. It's comparable to what we saw in the previous race. We'll have to see. We've got a replay coming up. What's going on here? No, it's that's okay. We're back with the live now as the cars continue to circulate. Really, we're just waiting. I think it was Russell Ending now crossing the line. There goes Kim Ensign. Now, Kim Ensign, is he falling back into the clutches of Rob Duma? Why is that interesting? Because Rob Duma's made a pit stop, and we don't think Kim Ensign has.
No, he hasn't, and the gap is just 1 second. And looking at the lap times 34, Rob Duma's set 0.4 of a second quicker, faster lap than Kim Ensign. So is there a chance here for Duma to get onto the podium at least?
Into the pits now. It's the 11. That's the race leader, Andy Gaban. Andy Gaban has pitted. He's got the first stop. He's got the second stop. Oh, very slow coming away. This could be crucial. This could be crucial.
And
he's got the 8. It's Russell Ending. Is Russell Ending going to take the lead?
Yes,
Russell Ending takes the lead. It's Russell Ending moving into first place. There he is in the black and predominantly grey suit there. Now here's Russell Ending on screen. He's leading. That is Andy Gaban. To be honest, the gap between Gaban and Ending is about the equivalent to how slow Gaban was coming out of that pit lane there, isn't it?
It was, like you say, he just moved ever so slightly, didn't he? He went a bit too early and had to stop to make sure he didn't get the yellow light, which of course would have been even more catastrophic. But at least he's been able to do that. He has lost the lead to Endine, but the gap only 0.5 of a second, so anything can happen yet.
Superb. Well, Andy Gaban still does hold the fastest race lap. He's running on 34.1. No one else is actually within, 34.2 is next one. Rob Duma now listed in 4th. But still, as far as we know, Russell Ending, Kim Ensign have not been in the pits. That will dramatically change the face of that lead group there when they do. But not long at all to go now.
No, there's only a couple of minutes left, and as we say, it's the way the race looks now. It looks like, you know, you'd probably say that was when everyone's had the pit stops. And of course, Russell and Kim Ensign still yet to pit, and they are still very close. But we got in the pits. We got Endine into the pits. So he's. This is going to be, let's watch and see. Again, that wasn't a bad stop either. Melanie Howell just coming through, but it looks like Russell Endine is going to drop. He's dropped to 4th position, so that promotes Rob Duma. He'll be over the moon with that. 3rd place for Duma, and he's closing in on Kim Ensign as well, just 0.7 of a second behind Ensign now. That's the gap 2nd to 3rd place.
That'll be great news for Rob Duma. Russell Ending pits out of the lead and resumes back in 4th place. Now, what's really crucial is Kim Ensign's yet to make a stop. There's Kim Ensign on screen there. Here he is at the bottom screen. He's coming in this time. Now, what will this mean to Russell Ending? Kim Ensign makes a stop. Russell Ending's looking to jump in for 3rd position. He's blown it. He's blown it. Oh, this is crucial because I don't think Ensign's got enough on Le Pen to make another pit stop. Steve, this could be very, very unfortunate for Kim Ensign.
The shake of the head as he came through. I can't believe he's done that, but he did move very, very early, and it's just that was the risk he took. He was obviously in a position, and well, he's going to have to make another stop now. Unfortunately, that's his race ruined.
Excellent replay there, but bad news for for Kim Ensign. Andy Gaban, though, guess what's happened? New fastest lap of the race. Now that Russell Ending's out of his way, he's having to work it on his own, and he's going fast. But looking on screen there's Andrew Duff, and he's got Arnaud Tinet closing down him. There's only a minute and a bit to go, so not a lot of time there. Here comes Kim Ensign to retake that pit stop. Green this time. How about the second one? But he's losing time. I think Le Pen's passed him. And I think Ander Hunt passed him, and I think Ben Bennyworth's passed him. This is disastrous news. Yes, it is. Kim Ensign has dropped to 7th place. He's lost position to Pete Le Pen. He's lost position to Ander Hunt. He's lost position to Ben Bennyworth and has turned 2nd place into 7th. And not a good result.
And that's the gamble he took, wasn't it? He tried to get as quick a pit stop as possible, and that's cost him potentially 5 places. Absolute disaster for Kim Ensign. He'll be ruining that mistake.
Yes, it's going to be a long night before he gets to do something about it in tomorrow's heat races. We've got half a minute to go, so we're anticipating that checker coming out. It's surely going to go to the epic Andy Gaban, who has put 30.077 seconds as a personal best. That's amazing. Yeah. Fastest lap of this race. Oh, big moment there. And it is Gaban who takes the win.
And he's delighted with that. The hands, the fist pump as he came over the line. Very, very pleased with that. There was a bit of action there. That was between
numbers. That was Andrew Duff versus Arnaud Tinet. Now, interestingly, that action's going to continue because they've crossed the line ahead. Oh,
contact as
yeah,
they come
it's
through.
Still going on there with Andrew Duff and Arnaud Tinet. Now, although Gaban was really close with them, they are still racing. They crossed the line ahead of him, and I think that bumping and boring has cost Arnaud Tinet a bit, and Andrew Duff is comfortably going to be ahead of him in 8th place. So there goes across the line. It's Andrew Duff taking 8th place ahead of Arnaud Tinet. Action right on the last lap between those two over 8th place. Quite exciting stuff. But the race win and fastest race lap, Andy Gaban. We didn't really see that one coming. It certainly came, and he took that one. Started from pole as well, of course. Rob Duma, a fantastic second for him. Russell Ending 3rd, Pete Lepan 4th. Ander Hunt was at 5th place. Ben Benny was 6th. Kim Henson will be upset with 7th place, I'm sure. Andrew Duff, an exciting run to 8th. Arnaud Tinet took the fight to Andrew Duff, but couldn't make anything of it. And Randy on the top 10 is Melanie Howell. So exciting little race going on down there, that's for sure. We've got the final race of the second round of heats coming up now. So heat number 10. Well, we've got some interesting people in this one too, Steve.
Yeah, let's have a look. So we have a run through of the drivers in this. You've got Ian Anderson, the Deaf Faroe Island racer, so he's going to be right up there. Stephen King, it's a good name that. I wonder if he writes books, scary books, but he's returning to BRKC after a 3-year hiatus, so watch out for that man. You've got Azrim Akram, the current lap record holder in the extreme karting indoor track in Edinburgh. Of course, anyone with indoor karting experience is always one to watch. Cheyenne Davies, multiple podiums she's got in Natska. Annalene Boutons, of course, sister of Ruben. You know, you don't have to say anything about those two. Both